So nearby Lucas, who are we talking about today?
Talking about a man who's just ballsy enough to hunt Spider-Man.
What a hero. Or a villain. Shit. Villain. He's a villain. So nearby Lucas, would you like to do the thing you often do, which is tell the lovely audience at home what the specific topic of today's video is?
Yeah, so we are going to be talking about Kraven the Hunter, who is a man I don't know much about.
Neither do I, but our theory, and I think the theory of a lot of people, is that he's one of the villains in the new Spider-Man PS4 game. Not the sequel to the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Yeah.
I just call it Spider-Man PS4 in my head so much. So.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's Kraven the Hunter in the first trailer for the game, because he's just talking about all of the foes that he's like hunted and trained against.
He is, and
so yeah.
Like yourself, I don't know much about Kraven the Hunter. Like, I don't even know his real name, which is Sergey Kravinov. That is a fucking name. And I love here as well. Like, there's a quote from him, and I'm not going to read it out, but he's talking about him and Squirrel Girl teaming up. That's a power couple right there. Like, Squirrel Girl's like one of the most powerful characters in all of Marvel.
And one of the most requested characters for Wiki Weekends, and we're not going to do her until you stop requesting that we do it.
Yes, every time we get a request, it goes right down to the bottom of the big list that we have. Anyway, so Lucas, would you like to learn some more about Kraven the Hunter?
Yeah, I really do.
So we have here his name, Sergey Nikolovich Kravinov. Originally, Sergey Kravinov. That is a name. That's like
Nice.
Sergey Dragunov from Tekken.
Oh, yeah.
And I fucking love it. He's one of my mains. I found out he's like super OP and like S tier. It's like, I can't play an S tier character. Got to play those low tier here. Got to play that Giga. So we have here aliases. Are you ready for some fucking band names, mate? The Grim Hunter, the Unhuntable, the Unhuntable, the Beast, the Emperor of the Wild, the Ghost, the King of Lions. Oh, yeah. These sound like Zelda titles.
Oh, man. Better than Zelda titles.
The Unhuntable.
That's
a
so
fucking
good.
name. That's awesome. You know what? I just want to know a little bit about Kraven the Hunter because I love the image they use in like early comics where he's there in like the leopard print and the big furs. And I love that image because it's so outdated.
Yes, it is.
Like just wearing like the pelts, and I get it. Like, you know, it's that intimidation factor. Like, he's wearing the pelts of these wild, dangerous animals. But all I think when I look at someone wearing that now is like, what a dickhead. Like, you probably bought that. I know he didn't. He hunted it himself personally. But it's like you probably just bought that.
And I want an updated version where instead of him wearing pelts, it's him wearing just the super suits of like heroes that he's demolished.
Well, it's like Taskmaster, isn't it? Where he just takes things that other heroes use and makes his own version of it. Like he just gets a Captain America shield, he gets like a whip so he can do Spider-Man's shit, he gets like a bow and arrow so he can copy Hawkeye.
Yeah, but you know, Kraven, instead of developing them himself, just tears them off Spider-Man's arms. Like, I'll take your shooters.
Like you want him to be like Predator with like skulls around his neck, or General Grievous with like 18 lightsabers.
Yeah, I want that Grievous thing of just, you know what, I'm now wearing the arms of Spider-Man and just stuff like that.
Do you know what you should do? You should take really minor things. Like you should go like beat Spider-Man up and then just take like his subway card out. Something like that. Take his web shooters. Don't take that and then his subway card to be a dick. So this thread that I saw once, like, if you were going to take something out of someone's house to cause maximum annoyance, what would you take? And someone said, oh yeah, the plate from your microwave. And I was like, that would be annoying. She said, where are you going to get another one of them bastards? Anyway, Sergey Nikolovich Kravinov, and in Russian it's words I can't pronounce, was born and raised in Volgograd, Russia in the early half of the 20th century, during the time of the Russian Revolution. Born into an aristocracy that had come to an end, he became one of the world's greatest hunters to fulfill his sense of lost nobility. He says here that he found great talent after finding employment in Kenya, Africa. He began a career using the typical tools of the hunter, but over time developed a preference to take down large animals with his bare hands. That's a man. That's a man right there. Because I've always said, like, I disagree with hunting on like moral grounds, but if you can kill the animal with your bare hands, that's the one exception I make. So at that point, you want it more.
If you take a look at just like a bear or a tiger and go, I could punch that.
Like, if you go punch a lion to death and rip its pelt off with your bare hands, you fucking deserve it more than the lion does at that point. It says here that after meeting a voodoo witch doctor, he took a herbal potion which enhanced his physical powers and gave him the strength, speed, and senses to match a jungle cat. He also extended his vitality, which you no doubt want to get to in his powers and abilities section, but that man, that fucking man.
I wonder if he goes in just unarmed against people like Spider-Man.
I think he does. I think that's his whole thing. It's like it's a pride thing. So it reminds me a little bit of like it's presumably ripped straight off of Kraven the Hunter. In Batman of the Future, they have a villain in that who just hears about this legendary Batman, and like they say, "Oh, I hunted all the world's most dangerous animals and got bored."
Yeah.
Like nothing posed a threat to me anymore. It's like he says, like, "Oh, I got mauled by a lion and it ripped my spine out." But then I went and got a robot spine. I went and killed the lion with my bare hands. And I heard that Batman, and I wanted to hunt him, but then Batman retired. But then I heard he came back with a new youthful vitality. So he thinks that Batman's like this great spirit or something like that. It's like, well, Batman retired and then came back 20 years and he's still fighting like a man in his prime. This is the ultimate hunt.
Do you think Man-Bat's sitting there sweating? He's going, oh no.
I love Man-Bat. And I love the idea of just Man-Bat and Man-Spider.
Yeah.
And just like Spider-Man sounds really cool. It's like, I want to see all of the heroes that have like something man and see their inverse. I want to see like Man-Ant. There's like Man-Ant and all that bollocks.
Just like a little buff ant. Yeah.
Just like, do you know when Bart gets the fly head?
Yeah.
And Johnny imagines that he's going to be like really buff with a fly head. It's like that. Anyway, powers and abilities. Chemical/magical empowerment. After Kraven ingested a mythical potion, his physiology underwent several changes, endowing him with superhuman physical attributes. The powers he gained put him, and I quote, on the top of the food chain, as they are greater than even those of Captain America.
Oh.
Kraven is better. I like it just says better. You don't need to say, he says better, stronger, faster. You don't need to say, if you just say better, done. You don't need to follow it up with stronger and faster. That's implied by him being better.
He's harder, faster, and stronger, Karl.
And more cunning than any human. Coupled with his skills, he is a truly dangerous and deadly adversary. And his fighting skills are like a 6, which put him at like up there with like Deadpool and Wolverine.
No, Wolverine's a 7. Shang-Chi and Wolverine are 7s, I remember that.
But when you've got like the power of a jungle cat,
yeah.
he's got that wild man power.
Wolverine's got the power of a Wolverine.
Yeah, the tiny little Wolverine. Only 5 foot tall.
Feisty.
Oh man, I love that Hugh Jackman didn't know Wolverines were a real animal. He thought it was like code for wolf. And the story is that Hugh Jackman just watched a bunch of wolf documentaries. But Hugh Jackman studied wolves, and he went into when he was doing like early takes, he kept going, like a wolf. Like, I love what you're doing, Hugh, but I also don't love it. Stop, it's really weird. And he's like, but I'm a wolf, right? It's like, no, it's Wolverine. Superhuman speed. Kraven was capable of running and moving at speeds greater than even the finest human athlete. At his peak, he could sprint at 60 miles an hour. Can you imagine it now?
Kraven on the motorway.
He couldn't run on a motorway. He'd actually tell you he'd be speeding on some motorways. But the thing is, he's dressed like a lion. Yeah. That's what makes it so good. Now, do you know that thing when you're a kid? I think everyone as a kid did this when you were sat in a car and you imagine something running alongside the car. Mm-hmm. Kraven could just do that. He could be that. And there's probably kids out there who saw him in that world like, man, my imagination's really getting better. Because I think there's actually a dude out there.
Just dressed in a giant Jaguar pelt.
Just chase. So I'm going to hunt the deadliest games, the fucking Corsa, and just ripping it apart. Extended longevity. Kraven's jungle potions. That sounds like the most non-FDA approved shit ever, doesn't it? Kraven's jungle potions drastically altered his natural aging process, causing him to age much slower than an ordinary human, despite being in his 70s at the time of his death. So he must be dead. Spoilers.
Oh.
Wonder what the fuck killed him. What badass killed him? It says Kraven had the physical appearance and vitality of a man who was just 30 years old. So like basically in the prime of his life at like 70.
I should imagine that he had a kid that hunted him. That's all I can see being Kraven on.
That's why to fall downstairs. Immortality. Oh, due to his resurrection.
Of course. It's comics, Karl.
That was a short-lived death, wasn't it? He's in a state of immortality. Only Spider-Man is able to kill him, and if anyone else attempts to, he will survive it. However, there is a loophole to this curse, as Kraven is able to die by donning the Spider-Man costume while allowing his son to kill. Okay, so that's how he died.
Right.
He put a Spider-Man, he was cosplaying as Spider-Man, and Lucas, you got it, his son killed him.
Yep.
No. No. This is not real. Equipment, his lion's head vest. Okay, yeah, he wears a lion's head on his vest. Weapons, many weapons. Transportation, the Kravan. Recording these in person is just, it's on another level. The crave, this entire thing was worth it for that moment. The Cravan.